Welcome into Mornings on Main Street, Southern Middle Tennessee. This is the show that highlights Giles, Lawrence, and Maury counties from the pages of your local newspapers. I'm Scott Stewart. I'm the publisher of Pulaski Citizen, Lawrence County Advocate, and Main Street Maury. Those are your local newspapers here in Southern Middle Tennessee. We'd love for you to get a copy of your local newspaper. You can do it online. You can do it traditional. All you have to do is do one of the following. Call 363-3544, obviously 931-363-3544, or 931-762-1726. In the 615 area code, you can call 452-4940. Any of those numbers will get you in touch with the person that can hook you up with any of our newspapers, be it Southern Middle Tennessee or our other Main Street media newspapers. Or you can also visit our websites, PulaskiCitizen.com, MainStreetMaury.com, LawrenceCountyAdvocate.net, to find out everything you need to know for an online or traditional subscription. This week we've got a Memorial Day Salute special section or page in all three of our newspapers. And as we prepare to celebrate this long weekend, I just want us all to remember why it is we are able to celebrate the freedoms that we have and the price that it costs. Now, let's get our weekly wrap started with the Pulaski Citizen Wrap. The Pulaski Citizen Wrap starts this week with our Citizen Spotlight, GCHS valedictorian Lily Reed. Congratulations, Lily, and her photo is right there in the spot of honor at the top and center of our front page this week. Also on page one, the City of Pulaski will start referring zoning questions to the Planning Commission. That was something the Board of Mayor and Aldermen decided on. We got a complete story there. The Exchange Club has recognized their Law Enforcement Officer of the Year. UT Southern has a new chancellor. Dr. Melinda Arnold will start leading UT Southern on July the 1st. And Linville has a new alderman and a new vice mayor. Inside, Giles County High School is joining the Advised TN program. Giles County celebrated Fair Housing Month with a proclamation recently. The Giles County Memorial Day program and speaker information is inside this week's edition. And with Memorial Day, it's time to break out those grills. And Margaret has an article for us with some basic information that every griller needs to know. Jaden is the GCHA Pet Corner Pet of the Week. We've got Giles County students who competed in the District Scholastic Bowl. And as always, the Pulaski Citizen has obituary notices, court docket, property transfers, government public notices, backward glances, fun and games, church directory, community briefs, Tennessee Valley weather, and so much more, including sports. Here's Wade to tell you all about it.
What's up, folks? Wade Neely here, sports editor at the Pulaski Citizen. Time now for a look at what's in print and what's online for the May 21st edition of the Pulaski Citizen sports page. We gift you guys up to date with the absolute latest on the Richland Raiders soccer team and softball team, both ending in heartbreak in region play, as the Raiders soccer team had to go on the road after a very hard-fought contest. They come out 1-0 to the bad, unfortunately, on the road at Forest. That game being played last Tuesday in Chapel Hill. We broadcast it on Pulaski Citizen Live, and if you missed it live, you can go back and download it on demand by downloading the Mixler app and searching for PCL Richland. Tough break for the Raiders. Both teams enjoying kind of their fair share of attacking in the early going, but as the game wore on, Forest kind of really started peppering the Raiders with shots, and Richland's defense held as long as it could, but eventually the dam burst, and Richland did give up a goal in the second half. 1-0 again was your final. But congratulations to the Raiders. They had an outstanding season under first-year head coach Chip Rose. We saw efforts from some of the seniors like Thomas Robertson, but we also saw some of the up-and-coming Raiders like Noah Moss and Joseph Caballero both taking shape for the Richland Raiders. So saying farewell to a few key seniors, but also the future is bright for Richland heading forward. I mentioned the Richland Lady Raiders. They also were ousted in region play. This one hurts because they were eliminated 5-3 by Huntland at home. Richland had done such a great job in district play in the regular season and then won the District 10A tournament, only to be eliminated at home in the region by Huntland. 5-3 was your final score. Mark Mize and Adam Hansen broadcast that game. And same deal, you can go back and download it via the Mixler app. Tough break for the Lady Raiders as their offense kind of went cold at an inopportune time. They clubbed, over 60 runs in the district tournament, but they were limited to just 3 in that eventual loss to, again, Huntland coming in last week. Let's flip the page. Let's talk about some local soccer. And my, oh my, props to the U13 champions, the Badur Law Grizzlies. And you got to love this, folks. Their head coach, Colby Badur, assistant head coach, Evan Badur, they got a motto that says, if you're going to be a bear, be a grizzly. So the Badur Law Grizzlies, the U13 Grizzlies, took that to heart. They won the local championship tournament held out at Rotary Soccer Park. They had an outstanding season, and we made sure to give them their Just Props in print this week. Speaking of Just Props, let's talk about UT Southern. They had a busy week last week as they had softball, golf, and tennis all competing at the national tournament. And we focus on softball. Our friend Abby Pipkins was on hand shooting for us in Fayette, Missouri. UT Southern lost its opening game in the tournament, but made up for lost time. It hadn't been to the Nationals since 2016. They reeled off 3 straight victories, got all the way to the championship game, but did fall in that one, in a close one, 5-1 to host Central Methodist University. So hats off to the Firehawks on advancing to the national tournament and also delivering a great showing. Again, 3 wins under second-year head coach Murphy Davis, likely to return another strong team in 26. Iana Pullitt capped her sensational season, the UT Southern junior golfer. She was the first ever golfer at UT Southern, man or woman, to make the cut at the national tournament. She ends up tied for 30th in the overall field, but she was as high as 11th after 2 rounds on the individual leaderboard. So congrats to Iana and Coach John Doherty on the Firehawk golf season this year. I mentioned tennis, UT Southern men's tennis making its second ever trip to the national tournament and first since 2010. They were eliminated in their opening round matchup, falling to former conference rival University of the Cumberlands. That was on May 13th down at the Mobile Tennis Center in Alabama. Despite being shut out, they battled, winning a couple points here, a couple points there, especially in the doubles category, but it could not be enough to propel them to the victory. So UT Southern is dumped in the first round. So props, though, to Coach Bill Riddle and the Firehawks on a fantastic season. Again, just their second ever trip to the national tournament. We also close with another feature on our Bridgeforth Lady Bobcats softball team. Lady Bobcats went undefeated in the regular season. They were dumped in 2 games, however, in postseason play, but still a fantastic year for the BMS Lady Bobcats. So make sure you get caught up to date with all of their coverage there. As always, words from our good friend Larry Woody are in print this week. And a reminder, if you miss any of this, you can find it online at PulaskiCitizen.com. Before we go, we are in Murfreesboro this week for the Spring Fling. We will have coverage on the Richland Raiders and an individual track and field athlete that performed here this morning as we record on Tuesday. So make sure you check that out later this week online and in next week's edition. Special shout out to the MTSU friends and staff here at the James E. Walker Library for allowing us tonight invade their cozy confines here this afternoon. Our good friend Clay Trainum hooking that up for us to record this afternoon. So for now, Wade Neely saying so long. Check out PulaskiCitizen.com or check us on newsstands, and we'll see you next week.
Piggly Wiggly, located in Neely's Mill Shopping Center, is Columbia's locally owned and operated Cost Plus 10 grocery store dedicated to serving the community with low prices and smiling faces. Piggly Wiggly offers fresh, hand-cut meats daily as well as daily hot plate lunches from their deli counter. You're certain to see smiling faces and a helping hand when you're here at Piggly Wiggly. Come by and check out our fresh produce, high-quality meats, and more. Down home, down the street, we'll see you at the Pig.
So Busy Bee is a very close-knit family. We fight just like every family does. We have arguments, but we always come out with a solution to the problems. We don't just fight about what we want, we fight about what customers need. We want to make sure that every customer we go to is more than satisfied. And that doesn't just start whenever we show up at their door. That starts when we show up every day at work. We want to make sure that we are serving our customers to the best of our ability.
Welcome Welcome to the Omni Nashville Hotel. Urban elegance with a vintage touch. Our 800-room hotel opened up in the fall of 2013 with 746 guest rooms and 54 suites.
So, you want to be a part of the Busy Bee team, huh? Well, how do you see yourself fitting into the organization? Oh, I get it. You want to be a weather bee.
Hello, and thank you for tuning into this week's Main Street Maury Rap video. I'm your local reporter, Andrew Pearson, and here is the news for the week. First off, we have published photos from the Small Business Week tour of downtown Columbia taken by our governor with our state and local representatives. Governor Bill Lee praised the small businesses that he visited, which included Caledonian Financial, the McEwen Group, Columbia Health Foods, and Daniel's Barber Shop. He restated their importance to Tennessee's and Maury County's economies. Military veterans, including Bill Whitpin, a counselor, attorney Tom Dubois, and liaison Morley Levine, are seeking to establish a veterans treatment court for our 22nd Judicial District. The court would shift veterans out of the penal pipeline when they get in trouble with the law and send them instead to be mentored and treated by their comrades who understand their struggles and can convince them that a better life is possible. The Mid-South Life Steamers held their spring public meet at Maury County Park 3 weekends ago. The club's steam-powered mini locomotives, built at 1/8 of the size of a classic steam train, transported visitors on 15-minute rides around the track. They will return to the park for the fall public meet in the last weekend in September. The Vietnam Veterans of America, Post 1140 of Williamson County, awarded prizes to the winners of their essay contest last Monday. 3 high school students from Maury County, Philip Kornev, Kiersey Jolie Wisecarver, and Caleb McNabb, won 3rd, 2nd, and 1st place respectively for their essays. They wrote about the wartime experiences of Vietnam veterans John Strunk and Michael Dunstan. And in the winning essay, Ms. McNabb wrote about Beverly Williams, who is a nurse in Da Nang. And finally, the County Budget Committee negotiated at length with representatives of the county school district over funding for the next year. The school district wanted about $6 million for teacher raises to meet the new $50,000 state minimum pay and to compete with other counties, and for the county commission to consider building a new elementary school for Northern Columbia. The Budget Committee replied that they didn't have much discretionary funding and that other measures ought to be taken before building a new school, and they kicked the can on both issues to their May 29th meeting. On our other pages, Columbia celebrated the graduating seniors on its Mayor's Youth Council. The UT Extension published notices of several upcoming agricultural events. The Sons of the American Revolution put up a Patriots burial marker on Highland Avenue in Columbia, and Columbia Power and Water received a state award for the 20th year in a row for its financial reporting. Thanks for listening, and we hope you'll pick up a copy of this week's issue of Main Street Maury. Maurice Patton's up next with sports reporting.
I'm Maurice Patton, sports editor at Main Street Maury, coming to you from Spring Fling headquarters in Murfreesboro, site of the TSSAA Spring Sports High School Championships. And we've got a lot of coverage of the prep for that in this week's Main Street Maury, the May 21st print edition, including Columbia Academy Baseball taking a pair of games from St. George's to get back to the borough and try to make their second straight state championship run after winning last year's Division IIA title. So we've got coverage of that best of 3 sweep for the Bulldogs in this week's print edition of Main Street Maury. Speaking of baseball, Independence also advanced with a 2-game sweep at Beach. We got coverage of the Eagles' run to the Class 4A state tournament that's going on this week here in Murfreesboro. Had a shot at 3. 2 out of 3 ain't bad, they say, unless you're Columbia Central, which was eliminated in the 3-game Class 4A sectional at home by Green Hill. Got coverage of all 3 of those contests in this week's print edition of Main Street Maury as well. And we got an upstart. Battle Creek, in its first season as a high school, has made the state Final 8 in Class 1A soccer. Check on the Grizzlies and how they got to Murfreesboro in this week's print edition of Main Street Maury. We've also got brackets for both the Class 4A state tournament, the Division 2A state tournament, and the Class 1A boys soccer tournament. So brackets, you can follow all of those local teams and follow their path to a state championship by checking out those brackets in the print edition of this week's Main Street Maury as well. Also, Columbia Academy named a couple of new coaches recently. They now have new girls basketball and volleyball coaches. See who both of them are in this week's print edition of Main Street Maury. Speaking of Columbia Academy, former girls basketball standout Maddie Lewis, the program's all-time leading scorer, has made a decision on a 4-year program after spending the last 2 years at Wabash Valley Junior College over in Illinois, where she was Conference Player of the Year as a sophomore. See where she's headed and what's next for Maddie in this week's print edition. And finally, we've got coverage running up to the Mr. Baseball Awards ceremony that the Tennessee Baseball Coaches Association holds annually. That took place on Tuesday. We now have a winner, and it is CA Junior Gunnar Skelton. We've got coverage again running up to that in this week's print edition, but we'll let the cat out of the bag. Gunnar did win it. We will have coverage of that on the website at mainstreetmaury.com. Be sure and check that out. We'll also keep you up with everything that takes place over here at Spring Fling this week, including Battle Creek Soccer, Independence Baseball, CA Baseball, and we've got a number of participants in the state track and field meet, both in Division 1A and in Class 3A. Again, keep up with all of that on the website at Main Street Maury. We'll also have coverage of as much of that as possible in next week's print edition, because it is Memorial Day. We have Memorial Day deadlines, lots of fun. Hopefully we'll get it all in, but again, if we don't, it'll all be on the website at mainstreetmaury.com, so be sure and check that out. Again, I'm Maurice Patton, sports editor at Main Street Maury. Enjoy your Memorial Day break. We'll see y'all.
Piggly Wiggly, located in Neely's Mill Shopping Center, is Columbia's locally owned and operated Cost Plus 10 grocery store dedicated to serving the community with low prices and smiling faces. Piggly Wiggly offers fresh, hand-cut meats daily, as well as daily hot plate lunches from their deli counter. You're certain to see smiling faces and a helping hand when you're here at Piggly Wiggly. Come by and check out our fresh produce, high-quality meats, and more. Down home, down the street, we'll see you at the Pig.
So Busy Bee is a very close-knit family. We fight just like every family does. We have arguments, but we always come out with a solution to the problems. We don't just fight about what we want, we fight about what customers need. We want to make sure that every customer we go to is more than satisfied. And that doesn't just start whenever we show up at their door, that starts when we show up every day at work. We want to make sure that we are serving our customers to the best of our ability.
Welcome to the Omni Nashville Hotel. Urban elegance with a vintage touch. Our 800-room hotel opened up in the fall of 2013 with 746 guest rooms and 54 suites.
So, you want to be a part of the Busy Bee team, huh? Well, how do you see yourself fitting into the organization? Oh, I get it. You want to be a weather bee.
The Lawrence County Advocate Wrap starts this week with the announcement made last week that Craig Manufacturing in Lawrenceburg will expand to 30 new jobs and 24,000 square feet. Also on A1 this week are the Memorial Day ceremonies for Loretto and Lawrenceburg. Inside, 80 Oaks Recovery visited Lawrenceburg Rotary, and we have a report on that program and what's coming up for the 80 Oaks Recovery. For Stroke Awareness Month, we have a feature on Beck Land, a Lawrence County High School student who recognized something wasn't right and went to the doctor and found out he had a stroke. State Senator Paige Wiley breaks down more from the most recent General Assembly. Neil Beard is in search of the perfect country meal, and we've got quotes from Henry's Corner. And there's a lot more to see in the Advocate this week, including local obituaries, local community announcements, government notices, auctions and estate sales, the forecast for Tennessee Valley weather, 2 pages of puzzles and comics, and the local church directory. In sports, stop me if you've heard this one before. The Summertown High School tennis team is going to state. That's right. The consecutive multiple-time state champions are in Murfreesboro again. The Lawrence County Wildcats softball team made their way to the state tournament sectional round last week, falling just 1 game short of a trip to state of their own. Summertown softball ended their season in the first round of the region tournament, losing in a thriller to Forest. Summertown baseball also just 1 game short of the state tournament as they ended their season in the sectional round, and Lawrence County baseball wrapped up their season in the regional tournament. We've got Loretto Softball District Award winners this week. Larry Woody talks about big fights from the Little Bluegill. Finally, in sports, it turns out there was another runner from Lawrence County in the Nashville Marathon, and that was a Lawrenceburg mom. You'll have to find out who by checking out the paper this week. And a former Lady Cat joined her teammates at the National Junior College Athletic Association golf tournament. Championship tournament last week. Well, that's it for this week's Lawrence County Advocate Wrap. We'll be right back right after this.
From the Tennessee Valley Weather Channel, this is your weather on Main Street.
Well, good Wednesday morning. Taylor Plott here with a quick look at your forecast. During the day on Wednesday, should be pretty good to go. A lot of drier weather moving on in across our area. Temperatures still getting on the warmer side, up into the upper 70s to around 80 degrees. Maybe just a few passing clouds during your evening hours. We are watching the threat, though, as you see there, with some more showers and storms that roll through during the overnight hours going into your Thursday morning. Right now, those really don't look to be too strong or severe. 7-day forecast looks like this. Friday is going to be the best day of the 7-day forecast right there. Sunny skies, 73 degrees. We're watching the chance for some rain and storms over Memorial Day weekend.
Well, that's it for Mornings on Main Street, Southern Middle Tennessee. Make sure you get a copy of your local newspaper so you don't miss a minute of the local coverage we've got lined up for you. For more information on subscribing to any of our newspapers, I've got one stop for you, MainStreetMediaTN.com. That's MainStreetMediaTN.com. Hey, go out and enjoy the Memorial Day weekend this weekend. If you get a chance, go to some of these Memorial Day, the Memorial Day ceremony that's going to be going on in your community. It's in all of our papers telling you what's going on and when it's going on. And be safe out there. Hey, thanks for trusting us as your source for local news, sports, and information. And if the good Lord's willing, we'll be right back here next week. Mornings on Main Street, Southern Middle Tennessee.